Hello everyone, how are you? This is your teacher SOHIL GAJJAR. I hope you all are fine, doing well at home and studying regularly and watching all the videos of all the teachers regularly. Okay. Today we are going to start with the second chapter of Indian economy. First chapter, Indian economy on eve of independence is already completed by Santosh Miss. So we are going to continue with the second chapter, that is Indian economy 1950 to 1990. In the first chapter, you might have studied that there was stagnation in the agricultural sector. There was deindustrialization. That means the GDP growth was around less than 2% and all the stuff. So what was the condition of Indian economy in the colonial period that you have already completed in the first chapter. Now in this chapter, after getting the independence, okay, how the Indian government revived the whole Indian economy. So that we are going to study in this chapter. Okay, so let's start. So these are the topics which we are going to complete today. And this chapter we are going to complete in 4 sessions. Okay, today in this session we are going to complete these topics, and the remaining topics will be completed in the remaining 3 sessions. Okay, so let's start with the introduction part. Okay, so India got independence on 15th August 1947. So finally we are the master of our own destiny. So to revive the Indian economy, the burden or the responsibility was on the Indian government. So our first Prime Minister Sri Jawaharlal Nehru, okay, uh, started the adopting various economic system through which the economic planning can be done and through which we can revive our Indian economy. Okay, so there was a confusion in the leaders which type of economic system we should follow. Whether we should go for the capitalist economy, socialist economy, or the mixed economy. There were merits and demerits of all the different kinds of economy. Okay, so there was a confusion with kind of economic system we should follow so that we can make do economic planning and develop the Indian economy. So finally, we got independence and the work of nation building was in our own hand. So economic system refers to a system which solve the central problems of an economy. Okay, the central problems of an economy are mainly the three problems: what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. Okay, these are the basic central problems of an economy that every economy faces, whether it be a developed economy or developing economy or an underdeveloped economy. Now these problems are arising due to scarcity of resources, and the resources are known as the factors of production, that is land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurs. Now these resources are limited, okay, in relation to their demand. Okay, our human wants are unlimited, but the resources to fulfill those demand are limited. So the problems arise of scarcity. So due to this scarcity of resources, these are the central problems arising in the economy. Now these are known as central problems. Central problems means this problems, what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce, are prevailing in each and every economy because scarcity of resources is there in all the economy, whether it is developed economy like US or developing country like India. Okay, so what to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce, these are three central problems of the economy. So how the Indian government after getting the independence, how the government tried to solve all these central problems, through which economic system they have solved these problems, that we are going to discuss. Okay. So what to produce deals with the selection of goods and services to be produced in an economy in what quantity and in what combination. There are mainly three different kinds of goods. Defense goods, this required for the protection of the country. Pakistan, you know that very well, how they are behaving with us. So to protect our country, okay, defense equipments are necessary. Capital goods, these are the second type of goods we can produce. Capital goods are those goods which help in production of further goods. So we can speedily fulfill the demands of the consumer with the help of capital goods. Consumer goods are of four types: durable goods, semi-durable goods, non-durable goods, and services. So what type of goods to be produced, in what quantity it should be produced, and in what combination, whether we should go for defense and capital goods, defense or consumer goods, or consumer or capital goods. So what combination we should take, because the resources which we are having are the resources are limited. So what to produce deals with the selection of goods and services to be produced in what quantity and in what combination. Second problem, that is how to produce. How to produce this the selection of technique of production. There are mainly two techniques of production. One is capital intensive technology and the other one is labor intensive technology. In capital intersection technology, we are mainly using the machine. The use of machine is more and the use of labor is less. Whereas in allied, it is labor intensive technology, the use of labor is high and the use of machines is low. So during that period of time, during the period of independence or after the period of independence, there were huge unemployment in the economy. In the first order, you have studied that there was a deindustrialization. Our handicraft industries were destroyed. So due to that, there was massive unemployment. So a country like India or developing country like India requires both the technology. Capital goods were required to fulfill the demands of the consumer, so can easily make the goods and fulfill their demands. LIT is used to generate employment opportunities in the country. So there is a contracting issue to which technology we should prefer. But overall, in general, we should go for LIT. But to speed up the growth and to speedily meet the demand of the consumer, we need CIT also. Okay. So how to produce this with the selection of technique of production to be used in the production, whether you should go for LIT or CIT. Third is for home to produce. For home to produce deals with the selection of category of people who ultimately consume the goods, whether to make good for the classes or for masses. Rolls Royce, Porsche, Ferrari, and etc. All those cars are made for the classy people, classy rich people. Nano all can use the that car that is made for the masses. Okay, so selection of category of people means whether we should produce goods for more rich and less poor, or less or more poor and less rich. So those who have the paying capacity, okay, those who have the paying capacity, okay, accordingly will goods will be produced. Okay, for home to produce this the selection of category of people, whether we should go for classes or masses. Clear? Now, there are three different types of economic system. So one is capitalist economy, socialist economy, and mixed economy. So there was a confusion, there was a discussion. So which economic system we should follow so that we can easily solve those economic problems. That is what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. And we can easily revive our Indian economy and fulfill the demands of the people of the country. Now, the first is capitalist economy. Now, capitalist economy are those economy in which all the means of production, that is, all the factors of production, that is, land, labor, capital, and enterprise, are owned, controlled, and managed by the private sector or the market. The role of government is very less in the capitalist economy. Everything is market driven. Whatever the consumer are demanding, accordingly the goods will be produced by the producers. So capitalist economy is mainly a market-driven economy. The goods are made on the basis of demand and supply factors. The it is produced where a demand are high, and accordingly the goods will be produced. Technology, if labors are cheaply available, they will go for LIT. If the technology is cheaply available, they will go for the CIT. Okay, those who have the paying capacity, okay, those who want the goods, who can pay for it, the goods will be produced for them. Okay. So capitalist economy are more market driven, uh, mainly controlled by the market, or we can say the private sector. US, France, Germany, South Korea are the basic example of capitalist economy. You have seen the recent example of this coronavirus. uh, the US government was not in the favor of lockdown. Okay, whereas in Indian government, uh, there was a complete lockdown in the whole of the country, whereas in the US, there were some parts of the US, uh, the people came out on the street that they were opposing the lockdown. That means that is more market-driven economy. Demand and supply factors play a very important role in capitalist economy. Next is socialist economy, where all the factors of production, that is land, labor, capital, and enterprise, are owned, controlled, and managed by the government. So there is very minimum role of the private sector. The private property we cannot have. Everything is owned by the government. China, Cuba are the example of socialist economy. Okay, it is very difficult. You might have seen in the news due to coronavirus, China is not giving the actual data. Okay, because everything is over there is controlled by the Chinese government. Even the media, there is a strong control of Chinese government on the media also. So to take out any information from China is very difficult over there because everything is regulated by the government. Okay. So these two economy, there is capitalist and socialist, are the two extreme versions. In capitalist, everything is market driven, the role of government is very less, whereas in socialist, everything is controlled by the government, the role of private sector is very less. So these are the two extreme versions of the economy. Okay. In socialist economy, all the goods will be produced according to the government, according to the looking at the welfare needs of the people, whereas in capitalist economy it will be more profit driven. Okay. Capitalist is a profit driven and socialist is a welfare motive. The third is the mixed economy, where all the factors of production, that is land, labor, capital, enterprise, are partially controlled by the government and partially controlled by the market. So both are, that is, you can say it's a mixture of a hybrid of capitalist and socialist. Mixed economy, we are having the merits of socialist economy also and merits of capitalist economy. So it's a mixture of socialist economy and the mixed capitalist economy. So in mixed economy, all the factors of economy, land, labor, capital, and enterprise are partially owned by the government, or you can say the public sector, and partially owned by the private sector, or you can say the market. Okay. So these were the three basic types of economy: capitalist, socialist, and mixed economy. I have given the comparison here. You can go through it. If any doubt is there, you can WhatsApp me. Okay, so India adopted the mixed economy. As you can say that Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru was in favor of the socialist economy, but the socialist economies are prevailing in Soviet Union, so-called Russia today. Okay, but there was an extreme socialist economy in Soviet Union. Everything, each and everything was controlled by the government over there. So that type of socialist economy, Jawaharlal Nehru was not favor of that kind of socialist economy, because to change the ownership pattern of each and everything was not possible for the government, and there will be no use or no benefit of a democracy. Earlier, everything was controlled by the British government. Now everything will controlled by the government. So there will be no use of a democracy. Okay. So and to change the ownership pattern of everything. Okay. Property being given to the government was not an easy task. Okay. So India adopted the mixed economy. Okay. Socialist and capitalist were the two extreme versions. Okay. So India went for the capitalist went for the mixed economy, combining the merits of capitalist and socialist economy. Now, economic planning means the utilization of countries' resources in different levels according with the national priorities. Okay, so after selecting the what kind of economic system we will be following, that was decided that we are going to follow the mixed economy. Now, the more emphasis was there on the economic planning. So, how we can plan, how we can achieve the goals and objectives of the people, and how we can revive the whole Indian economy. So that was the economic planning was done, and for that the planning commission was established. Okay. It was a centrally owned organization. It was established in March 1950. The prime minister being the chairman of the planning commission. Okay. By the establishment of planning commission, uh, the 5 yearly era started. Okay. So our first 5 year plan was 1951 to 1956. Till now we have completed around 12 5 year plan, 1951 to 2017. And so this is 12 5 year plan which we are following. There's goals of the planning commission. These are the most one of the most important topic of the chapter number 2. Where what was so the goal of the planning commission, or what was the objective of the planning commission. These were the four objectives of planning commission: growth, modernization, self-reliance, and equity. So one by one, we are going to discuss all the four objectives of the planning commission. Number one is growth. Growth means the growth in the GDP. Our GDP comprises of three main sectors: primary, secondary, and tertiary. Primary consists of agriculture and allied activities. Secondary consists of industries and manufacturing, and tertiary consists of services. If there will be growth in these three sectors, then only there will be growth in the GDP. Growth in these sectors shows that there is a growth in the employment opportunities, growth in the per capita income, growth in the standard of living of the people of the country. So growth was the first basic objective of the planning commission. It also shows that the goods and services are available to the largest section of the people. Second is modernization. Modernization means the use of new and latest technology for the production of goods and services. The new of the use of latest technology we have to use to fulfill the demand of the consumer. And the second part of the modernization was to change in social outlook towards female. There should be equal right and opportunity available to the female as compared to men. So both, that is male and female, should have equal rights and opportunities, equal job opportunities, equal education rights. Everything should be equal. There should be no partiality. So modernization means the modernization are having two main phases. The first phase is that is we should use the new and latest technology for the production of goods and services. The second is changing social outlooks towards female. Third is self-reliance. Self-reliance means do it yourself. Do it yourself means we should not be dependent on other countries. Whatever we want, we should make it in our domestic territory only. Whatever goods and services we require, whether it may be essential commodities or non-essential commodities, everything should be produced in our own domestic territory only. So we cannot depend on essential products on other countries. If we start depending on other countries for all the essential commodities also, then they will start interfering in our economy. So during this era, that is 1950 to 1990, the more emphasis was given on self-reliance. That is, whatever we need, okay, we should depend on our own resources only. Our import should be less, okay, and our export should be high. We should not be dependent on other countries or foreign countries for essential or other commodities. Okay, we have to do it yourself. Okay, we need to stand our own feet. Okay, we should not be dependent on other countries. So that was the basic objective of self-reliance. If we are depending on other countries, then they will start interfering in our economic policy. So we don't want that. Fourth is equity. Equity means the benefit of economic development should reach to each and every section of the society. Okay, whatever the economic planning is done, whatever the economic objective achieved, whatever the economic welfare is done by the government, that should reach to the poor. So each and every person should have the benefit of economic development. It should not be that only the rich are taking the advantage of the economic planning and poor are suffering. No, it should not be that. Equity means the benefit of the economic development should reach to each and every section of the society. Okay? Whatever that we are achieving higher growth in terms of modernization, in terms of standard of living, okay, it should reach to the poor person also. Okay? That is why the equity is more important. So these were the basic four objectives of the Planning Commission during the period of 1990. One was growth, modernization, self-reliance, and equity. Now, as I have discussed earlier, that the Planning Commission has been abolished in 2014. As and when the Modi came into the power, the Planning Commission was abolished, and instead of Planning Commission, Niti Aayog was set up on 1st January 2015. So Niti Aayog means National Institute for Transforming India. The basic difference between the Niti Aayog and the Planning Commission was planning commission only the central government was giving the orders. Okay, so basic inputs or basic queries of the state government was not solved. Okay, it was a top to bottom approach, in the planning commission. Whereas in Niti Aayog, the state and the central government both are combining and as a they are working as a partners in nation building. Okay, so Niti Aayog has replaced the Planning Commission in 2015. Same, the Prime Minister is the chairperson, and the present CEO of Niti Aayog is Mr. Amitabh Kant, is the present CEO of Niti Aayog. It is known as the think tank of India. Whatever is good for the India, okay. It is recommended by the NITI Aayog, and that is discussed with the central government and the state governments as a partnership. They are working, and there's a uh, good feeling of competition between the different states. Okay, and the central government is providing the helping hand to the state. So in Ethiopia, the central government and state government both are working towards the nation building process. That is why it is known as National Institute for Transforming India. Okay, so that's all for today. If you are having doubts or queries, I already given my contact number. You can contact me. You can WhatsApp me also. So let us just quickly revise what we have discussed today. Number one was uh, introduction. That is the India became independent in 1947. So to build a country, to establish the country, okay, do the economic planning was now in our own hand. So economic system is that system is solve all the centers of the economy. That is what to produce, selection of goods and services to be produced, and what quantity and what combination. Whether you should produce defense goods, capital goods, or the consumer goods. How to produce means with the selection of technical production. Whether you should use LIT as liberator technology or CIT as capital intensive technology. Third is for home to produce. Home to produce deals with the selection of category of people, whether you should produce the classes or the masses. Then there are three types of economic system: capitalist, socialist, and mixed. Capitalist is more market driven, where all the factors of production, that is land, labor, capital, and enterprise, are owned, controlled, and managed by the private sector or the market. US, UK, South Korea are the examples of capitalist economy. Socialist economy is that economy where all the factors of production, that is land, labor, capital, and enterprise, are owned, controlled, and managed by the government. The role of private sector is very less in the socialist economy. Cuba, China are the example of socialist economy. Mixed economy is where all the factors of production are partially controlled by the government and partially controlled by the private sector. So there is both profit motive and the welfare motive in the mixed economy. India adopted the mixed economy. Okay, because capitalists and socialism were the two extreme versions. So we adopted the middle way, that is known as the mixed economy. And the economic planning is done to fulfill our national priorities. So to fulfill our national priorities, planning commission was set up in 1950, and Prime Minister was the chairperson of the planning commission. And the whole goals of the planning commission are growth, modernization, self-reliance, and equity. Growth means growth in terms of GDP. GDP increases due to increase in agriculture, secondary and tertiary. Growth signifies that the welfare of the people. Growth signifies that the goods and services are available to the larger section of the society. Modernization means to use of new and latest technology for the production of goods and services. And second, that means social outreach towards the female. Both male and female should have equal rights and opportunities. Third is self-reliance. We should not be dependent on other countries for essential commodities. Whatever we want, we should produce our own domestic territory. If we keep on depending on other countries, then they will start interfering in our economy. So whatever we want, we should produce in our domestic territory. Our import should be less and export should be more. Equity means the benefit of economic development should reach to each and every section of the society. Whatever that we are doing for the betterment of the economy should reach to all the sections, be rich or the poor. As I told you, that the planning commission has been abolished, and instead of planning commission, NITI Aayog was established on 1st January 2015. Present CEO of NITI Aayog is Mr. Amitabh Kant, and the chairman is the Prime Minister. Thank you. That's all for today.